Hello everybody, welcome back to Chronicles, our daily dose of revelation. We're in chapter 4 today, and I'm going to read the first 6.5 verses. After this I looked, and there before me was a door standing open in heaven, and the voice I had heard speaking to me like a trumpet said, "Come up here, and I will show you what must take place after this." At once I was in the Spirit, and there before me was a throne in heaven with someone sitting on it. And the one who sat there had the appearance of jasper and ruby. A rainbow that shone like an emerald encircled the throne. Surrounding the throne were 24 other thrones, and seated on them were 24 elders. They were dressed in white and had crowns of gold on their heads. From the throne came flashes of lightning, rumblings and peals of thunder. In front of the throne, 7 lamps were blazing. These are the 7 spirits of God. Also, in front of the throne, there was what looked like a sea of glass, clear as crystal.
I mean, if there's any message we need today, I mean, this is it, isn't it? It's so good.
Yeah. And it's not even finished yet.
But I love Revelation. You've always got to remember, if you read it out, it trumpet and loud voices and stuff. Yeah. But here you are, we're taken into a reality that's going on that we often don't see. Yeah. So the opposite of that is the coronavirus, deadly little thing. We don't see it. It's in the air and it causes destruction. But behind this curtain is a throne, and there's a powerful one sitting on the throne.
And it's being revealed to us. Right?
And it's being revealed. We can't see this, but he sees us. Yeah. It's a bit like when I used to work at the theatre, and the audience sits there. It goes dark. The curtain is down, and then the curtain opens up, and then the stage is revealed, and the spotlight is on centre stage. And this is what's happening. We're in the audience, we're seeing all kinds of stuff going on, what's going on, curtains open up, spotlight on centre stage, a throne. Yeah.
And it's so glorious that John feels like he hasn't really got the language to even describe what's going on. So he reminds me of a journalist with his notebook, and he's trying to quickly write down all the things he's seeing. But he doesn't even have the language to say it properly. So it's not, I don't know if you've ever seen a beautiful landscape and you've looked at it and you've just thought, I don't even have the words to describe how good this is. He's like, well, I saw this and this was like this. It was something like this, but it was better than this. This was like an emerald and that was like a jasper and this was a ruby and this was like a crystal. He's trying to just capture the glory of what he's seeing. Yeah. Like a journalist scribbling down a scene. It's amazing.
Yeah. I mean, this is some throne, isn't it? The one sitting on the throne is like a jewel, right? And then you've got this rainbow shining like an emerald, encircling the throne. That's a weird rainbow, isn't it?
It's a full rainbow, and that does actually happen.
Yeah.
And a rainbow stands for lots of stuff.
Yeah,
doesn't it?
It does. Yeah.
In the Bible, because when God gave it, see, people say, why doesn't God show us a sign? The rainbow is God's signature. Yeah. It is his sign, because he's saying, I'm going to keep my promises, and I'm going to sign in the sky my promises. It's his signature. Yeah. And it's 7 colours. Always remember that. There's lots of rainbows around today, and they only have 6 colours. 6 is not a good number.
Not in Revelation.
Not in Revelation. 7 is the perfect number. So if you're going to draw a rainbow, make sure it has 7 colours.
And on Facebook recently, I saw a little post of rainbows. It's really sweet, actually. There's loads of kids that are missing their friends. They haven't seen them for days. School's all out. But there was an idea recently where someone said, "Look, we're going on a walk and we're sticking a rainbow up in our window." And so the kids are going round. And they're sort of looking out for different,
Make sure it's got 7 colours.
And also, God never breaks a promise.
Yeah, because he's holding back his judgment.
That's what we need to.
The rainbow says we might think, this corona, is it a judgment? Well, in part, but God is holding back his full judgment. Yeah.
So, and I think we also learned a bit about how to approach God here, don't we? Not only in chapter 4, but in the whole book. And I reckon you could summarise it as: be afraid. Don't be afraid. So in chapter 1, John falls on his face as though dead. He's rightly afraid of the Son of Man. but he says, don't be afraid. And here you've got the similar language. So in verse 5, this is the kind of be afraid language, isn't it? From the throne came flashes of lightning, rumblings and peals of thunder. You know, they're supposed to be trembling like they would have done at the foot of Mount Sinai as the Lord descends upon the mountain and brings his word. But equally, don't be afraid, because this is your covenant God. He has rescued you. He has redeemed you.
And then he goes on and talks about the sea of glass.
Yeah.
And so...
Well, it's the was it Jesus calms the storm, isn't it?
Yeah.
You know, it says quiet, be still, and the sea is dead calm.
Yeah.
Because the rumblings reminds us of the word of God that came from Mount Sinai, and when the word of God comes in its power, there's a sea of glass.
Yeah. So I mean,
be afraid, don't be afraid.
I don't know, like there might be everyone's afraid, a bit, worried right now. Aren't they? Everyone's a bit afraid. You know, what's going on? And the kids especially, they might just be. They're listening, they're taking it all in. They might not be sort of expressing it like we are, but everybody can take heart from this.
Well, that's why the kids have got to know that they are rainbow children. You need to be rainbow children. 7, remember, because the 24 elders are around the throne, and they have thrones.
What's that? Go on.
Well, 24 elders. You get 12 tribes of Israel. 12 disciples of Jesus and apostles. 12 plus 12 is 24. In other words, all the people of God through all the centuries are there, around the throne.
You're going to be in demand.
Yeah.
All the homeschoolers are going to be after you.
Well, there'll be certain people that won't like this. 12 plus 12, 24, all the people of God. So if you're a rainbow warrior, I mean a real one, and that means you're a follower of the Lord Jesus with 7 colours, then you're going to be represented around this throne. So you're safe.
Yeah.
Brilliant.
I
think we should stop there.
Really?
Yeah.
No.